Hey friends, it's Wolf Daddy Leighton Cougar, and thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel, Wolf Daddy's Kitchen. So today, I want to talk about what everybody else is talking about, but maybe a little different perspective. Because this coronavirus has got everybody really panicked, and there's a lot of concern, not only for our own health and welfare, but the health and welfare of our pets. Now, the initial panic over the virus spread all the way across our country, and unfortunately, a lot of people were surrendering their dogs in shelters all across the country. So right now, shelters are getting filled beyond their capacity. And that's a really scary thing, and it's probably for a couple reasons. The first reason is people are thinking that their dogs and cats can actually spread the virus. Let's debunk that right now. That's not true. So let's be really careful about that. But also, people are frightened because they're not working, and the fear of losing their job or not working now and not being able to feed their pet. So they're really flooding the shelters with their dogs and cats. So if you have a shelter near you, they could really use your help with donated supplies, beds and bowls and toys and food, if you have that ability. So be sure to contact your local shelters and see what you can do to help. Hey, what you can really do to help is maybe adopt one of those dogs. So if you're not a member of your shelter, or become a member of your shelter and see what you can do to help reduce this all this drama that's happening all across the country's shelters. So so make sure that you know that you can make a difference. So I really feel that it's important that we squash all these false rumors about the virus. Now, you may have seen on social media that some people in China are actually killing their pets by literally throwing them out their apartment windows, and they're also gathering up street dogs and beating them to death, and cats, and this is totally unnecessary, and unfortunately it's because people really just don't even know what's happening. So let's squash these rumors and not get into such a state of panic and end up abusing animals. So as many of us are in lockdown and becoming in dire need of food and supplies for ourselves and our pets, this is not the time to give up on our loved ones, okay? So this is the time that we can hunker down, get creative, get conservative on our food and our pets' food and supplies. So if you're like me at all and you have little or no budget at this time, there are some things you can do to get through this global pandemic. Part of the good news is, though, I really hope you have heard this, is that the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has deemed pet food and pet ingredients and the packaging and the facility workers as a necessary as a necessary function in society. So, and it's critical to public health and safety, as well as the safety and health of your pets, as well as the economic and national security, really. So rest assured that the pet food companies are going to continue to make dog food, cat food, and get it into the stores as efficiently as possible. So I'm really grateful for our U.S. government to see that our pets are of value, not only to ourselves, but to our economy. So if you're like me and you find yourself like extremely limited on financial resources, I have a few things that you can do right now at home to help you get through this. So let me just say this right now. There's no secret that many of Americans are overweight, and so are a lot of our pets. Now, I'm not saying everybody is, and it's a little offensive to me when we sort of make this assumption that everybody's overweight. But the reality is we have a very overweight population of humans and their pets. So this is a perfect time right now to do something that maybe you're not really used to, especially now that we're all kind of locked down into our house and we're sort of having a more sedentary lifestyle. So let me just talk about something that can help you out, and something that might even kind of scare you a little bit, but this is going to really help you out to do two things. One is to lose weight for you and your pets. How are we going to do this? by fasting. Now, if you know me and you've seen many of my Wolf Daddy videos before, you know that I talk about fasting because the wolves at the Wolf Sanctuary, we fast them 2 days a week. And so when we fast and we fast our pets, we're taking advantage of something called autophagy. And if you're watching my videos, you know I've talked about autophagy often. So just what is it and how can it help us and how can it help us save money? Well, first of all, if we're fasting, we're not eating. You should be drinking lots of water and we should have plenty of water out for our pets. And yes, our pets are going to protest because they're so used to always eating. But let me tell you why autophagy is so great. And what is autophagy? Autophagy is a Greek word that basically means, the auto means self, and phagy, autophagy, means eating. So in other words, eat thyself. Autophagy, simply put, is when the body actually eats the dead and dying cells and basically plays a role in like housekeeping in our body, removing misfolded and aggregated proteins and clearing out damaged cells such as in our mitochondria and eliminating other intercellular pathogens. So autophagy is something that really is beneficial to our bodies. As a matter of fact, if you are in a state of losing weight, what often happens is we get loose skin if we lose weight. And autophagy, by fasting and experiencing autophagy, your body actually eats those dead skin cells, and by drinking lots of water and fasting on a regular basis, it helps our skin to regain a lot of its elasticity. So it's really important that we do this. And not only that, but autophagy plays a key role in preventing disease such as cancer. So there's benefits to fasting, even though if you're not used to it, it's very comfortable. So the benefit is you're helping your body and you're saving money. And you're also saving time because you're not having to cook or go somewhere and pick up food. So that's helpful. Your dogs may protest, but in the long run, just like our wolves at the sanctuary, it's going to extend their life. Now, the wolves at our sanctuary live to be 15, 16, 17 years old, when the average wolf in the wild is only going to be living about 6 to 9 years. We take advantage of autophagy and we fast our animals twice a week, and so it won't hurt you or I to fast 1 or 2 times a week as well. Now for me, I only eat 1 to 2 meals a day, and I've reduced my dog's food during this time because I can't afford to buy anymore, and most of the stores are kind of out of it already. So I've reduced their food, and yes, it kind of bugs them, but they're living a sedentary lifestyle as well. I'm keeping them indoors as much as possible because I'm here and they love to be with me. So let's think of that. One thing that you can, 2 things you can do is fast and experience autophagy, and that's going to help you and your pets throughout this epidemic and while we're stuck inside indoors, because we do have the habit or the inclination to stuff our faces when we're not really doing things. We're sitting around maybe watching Netflix all day and eating things that probably aren't appropriate for us to eat. So let's eat high quality foods and take some time out to fast. For me, I often will do what's called intermittent fasting, where I might only eat 1 time per day in a 24-hour period. And let me tell you what, it also not only does it energize me, but it gives me a clearer brain so I can think better and think faster. So that's one way we can help out. So what is another way that we can help save money and reduce our costs, save money? And that's cook for your dogs. So you know I'm a big advocate of cooking for your dogs. I cook for my dogs every single day. Now, it can be very expensive to cook high quality foods for your dogs. It's hard to get to the store and buy prime rib or steaks or even ground beef sometimes. But what I like to do, well, I'll tell you this. If I feed my dogs dry kibble, they'll be looking at me like, what the heck? There's no way they're going to eat it. They'll probably chew my leg off in the nighttime. I have 5 dogs at home. And so I never feed my dogs dry kibble. I always buy dry kibble because, like you, hey, meat is very expensive and I can't afford it. But what I always do is I give them a high quality gravy And I call it my kibble enhancer that I pour over their kibble and mix it up. So get into your refrigerator and your freezers and see what you've got that you haven't. It's kind of been sitting there a long time, some sort of meat product, and cook that up for your kids. And they'll enjoy that as just as much as eating anything else. And you're putting your tender love and care into doing that. So if you watch any of my videos on Wolf Daddy's Kitchen on YouTube, you'll see that I've got lots of ideas for enhancing the kibble or just cooking food straight out for your dogs. So remember that your dog can eat just about the same kinds of food that you can eat. So dogs and humans aren't really that much different when it comes to eating. So, if you look around, forage through your pantry and see what you can cook up for your dogs. And remember to try to not cook up too much in the terms of grains. Stay as gluten-free as possible because our animals don't need to have that. So literally just this morning, when I cooked my breakfast, I made more than I could eat. Now, I typically eat once or twice a day. So this morning at about 7:30 in the morning, I made some food. Let me show you what I made. I opened up a package of liver, of cow's liver, and I stuck it inside my blender, and I blended it up to almost like a puree, a liquid. And then I took a stainless steel bowl and I poured that liver into the stainless steel bowl. I have it right here. So it's sort of a liquidy liver. And I poured it in that stainless steel bowl. And then I took 2 ground beef patties that I had in the refrigerator that were thawed, and I crumbled that all up, and I put it in the stainless steel bowl. And then I cracked 5 eggs, and I mixed it all up with a fork. And I mixed it all up, and then I poured it into a frying pan and used it like a scrambled egg mix. I basically made scrambled eggs with liver and ground beef, and cooked that up in a frying pan, and it looks like this. It's just I didn't plan on making this video until plenty after I cooked this morning, but it looks like this. This is what I had left over. I just couldn't eat all my food, and so it's just like a scrambled egg mix. And I'll take this tonight, and what you just saw, which is the remainder in the blender, and I'll put all of this in the blender along with that liver that's in the blender with some piping hot water. I'll blend it up, and then I'm going to pour that over my dog's kibble. So that was my breakfast that I chose to go ahead and make it into a gravy tonight for my dogs. So it's kind of the same thing for you. Maybe you're having some sort of meat dish with some potatoes and some veggies, and at the end of the meal with your family or by yourself or however that is, go ahead and then take the rest of those leftovers, I have 5 dogs, so all of it I just showed you not just now is going to be a gravy over all 5 of my dogs' kibble. So take some of that, put it in the blender. Truly, the blender is my best friend in the kitchen. And blend that up and pour that over the kibble. Give them a little less kibble tonight because you're giving them some high quality foods that go on top of it. And I really encourage people to go to my YouTube, Wolf Daddy's Kitchen, and take a look at some of the gravies that I make, because most folks, if you're like me, you can't afford high quality kibble. Now, I do take my time to make sure I do give my kids a grain-free, high quality kibble, but I also, and I'll talk about this in a later video, I want to make sure also that kibble does not have pea protein. We'll talk about that in another video, maybe in the next couple days. That's just my quick tips today on Wolf Daddy's Kitchen. Just a way to save a little bit of money and take care of our kids as best as we can in this time of a crisis where we're all locked down, and maybe going to the grocery store isn't the safest thing to do right now. And you've got enough food probably in the refrigerator or the freezer that you can whip up something that's a little bit more, and it's going to be a little more pleasurable for your dogs anyway. And so remember, fasting. Fast 1 day a week for you and your pet, and that's going to increase your health and your vitality and your clarity of your mind. And then cook for your kids. They're going to love you even more. And if you have a dog that's a free range eater, take that away right now. If you can't afford to have kibble sitting out for them all day long, take it away. You know, and the reason why I really don't like free ranging, though some dogs are really great at doing it and they don't overeat, but it's the overeating part, and it tends to cost a little bit more. And I also believe that your dog loves and appreciates you more when you are handing them food and they see that you're the pack leader and you're handing them food and they're getting it from you. They can tell that you love them even more. So there you go, my friends. Wolf Daddy signing off. Thanks for watching this quick video. I love you guys. Please share. Tell people about this channel. Tell people about this page. And share some more. And I'll be bringing you more and more great tips and tricks for feeding your pets at home. And if you have any ideas or suggestions or questions, be sure to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll make sure I can address those things. And if you think that everything I said is just a bunch of hooey, go ahead and make that comment too. I love you. Thank you so much, Wolf Daddy. Signing off.